Hello there, this is David Allen, and today we're going to have a look at ScreenFlow and what you can do with it to capture your screen and make videos to put onto YouTube. Things that are new with ScreenFlow version 3. One of the things that is new is the fact that you can select one of these things in your Documents media bin, and if it's a video you'll get one of these little things in the window, and if I tap on that it will give me a preview of what's in there. Very good. Don't hear any sound on that because the sound is in a separate track. So that's something that is new with ScreenFlow version 3. Obviously another thing that's new is the fact that you can go full screen with it. So if I press that up there, we've gotten totally full screen with it, and that can be useful if you're working on a small screen, for instance. Let's get it back to standard again. Just click on that there. Something else that is new is the fact that you can have other things on these tracks. So for instance, if here I want to have some annotations, I can add an annotation clip. So if I want an arrow, there's an annotation, my arrow, I can point to something quite easily. Or if I want to have a line, obviously I can change the thickness of the line. And if I want to have a box, so if I wanted to cover something out, I could do that, and I can have an unfilled box. So there's my unfilled box, or I can have a circle or a ellipse. Change the colour of that if I wish to. So there's my ellipse. Put another one up there as well. So that's something else that you can do with that. I can put shadows on there if I wish. Not much of a shadow there, so I'll make the shadow a bit bigger. Obviously it depends upon the thickness of your line there. What's not good about it is the fact I can't say where the shadow's going to be. It's more of a glow than a shadow really, isn't it? And there's an outline. When you have an outline you can choose what sort of outline you want and the endpoints that you want with it. So there, I've just changed that outline, the end of that to be a round shape. And then I can have a different type of end on that there if I wish. Also, if I want to, I can have text in there. So if I want to add a text box, let's put our text box in the middle of this. So there's my text, and obviously I can do whatever I need to do with that text. So at the moment it's got a fill with a solid colour behind it. That's selected the text, do things with the text. Go back to text features. You can change the style of the text and the size of the text and the alignment, all the sort of things that you'd normally be able to do. So whether you want an outline around it, or if you want to have a backdrop, at the moment we can do without a backdrop. And if you do want a backdrop, then you can decide whether you want to have a solid colour or an image fill. If you go to an image fill, then it brings you out to the open thing there. Let's just choose that one there. And there's that image fill for our text. So that's fairly handy. You could easily put some text in there. And also let's have the text selected. Don't forget you can change the rotation of this here by doing that. If you move that out further, then you can move it in smaller increments. So that's how easy it is to put in text boxes and annotations. Here is another thing that is new with ScreenFlow version 3. And it's this little thing that's at the bottom of the playhead here. If I take that now and move it to the left, it removes some video from the timeline, and you can say how much you want it to remove. You can see it's removing 1.4 seconds there, and it puts in a transition at the same time as doing the removing. So that's quite handy. Don't tend to use it very often, but it could be useful if you wanted just to move something out of a specific area there and do it all across a number of different tracks.
Subscribe button and up to date with all the Mac 20Q news.
And it seems to work fairly well too, so I must use that a little bit more. I have to move to the right. If I move it to the right instead, I can have it so that it inserts a space. So if I want a space of 1 second there, let's put a space in a 1 second. That could be useful if you need to have in an area where you want to put something in and it needs to be of a specific length and you need to split all the tracks in the timeline. While we're looking at these tracks here, you see we've got 1, 2, 3 tracks that are all audio, and this is the track where I've got the voice over. This here is a sound effect, and this here is a piece of music. And to get it right so that it sounds proper, so on this one here I've set the ducking. This is my audio track. You set the ducking on the main track, and what it does, it ducks the other tracks that are below it to wherever you set this bit by. So this one here, for instance, I've all the other tracks are set to 10% when this track has got some sound in it. So that's quite handy. There are other things you can do with audio too. So for instance, if I want to add an effect to it, I can tell it to add presence, or do some of these other things here. Basically those are kind of reverb type of changes, basically sort of making it sound as though in a different sort of room or something like that, you know. Takes you from flat to maybe being inside, as if it was recording inside a cathedral or a large room or whatever. You've got some filters there to remove background noise, and then you can do other things such as smoothing volume levels and mixing input to mono. I don't tend to do much with the way of audio in ScreenFlow. I tend to move it out off into Amadeus Pro to finish things off where I need to. I suppose I should show you as well that if you've got an audio track, you can have an audio track that has got a transition on it too.
Date with all the
Play that
news.
now. Can't really sort of tell the difference with it, what I've just done there, but basically you'll get a crossfade between the two. Obviously you can set the volume of various tracks, and I had to set the volume on this one to 22% because it was quite a loud volume on that one there. This one here, the volume's still set at 100%, and I've also got ducking on this one because I want the track that's underneath this here, the music track, to be ducked underneath this track here, just so that this sounds, well, if I didn't do that, what happened is this sound would actually get lost within this sound here. So that's why I set the ducking on that one. So let's have a look at some more things to do with ScreenFlow in another video. Bye bye now.
Hey there, you Mac 20Q guys. This is Captain Z. It's time that you press that subscribe button and become a subscriber to keep up to date with all the Mac 20Q news. And while you're here watching this video, click on that like button. Do it now. You know it makes sense.